What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today we're watching a video by Saiyan, Birth of Cell Prime, Dimensional Destroyer, Cell Prime versus Saladverse, Episode 0. This was recommended by Bart Jones. Shout out my boy Bart Jones. And yeah, man, you gotta get into it, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you want any story you want me to react to, let me know down below. And yeah, let's get into it.
So let's talk about President Cell for a second. Obviously he was destroyed. So, simple change here. He's never found. This wouldn't really change too much in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they'd eventually find out about Cell later on, because the one from that other timeline shows up anyways, the main one that we know of. And Trunks would still be able to defeat his version of Cell too. It's just that there's now a third Cell, the one in the present timeline that was originally destroyed. As we saw in Trunks' timeline, he awakened after Trunks defeated the androids. And like I said, there are going to be a few things we change in this video, and one of them is going to be when Cell is completed. And there's a pretty logical explanation for that here. So if we go by the logic in that timeline, if President Cell did somehow survive, he would still be a couple years off from being fully developed. For reference, the Tournament of Power takes place around the same year where future Gohan died in that timeline. Obviously things went way differently, which is still a few years before Cell even arrives in that timeline. The other change we're going to make is that he develops quicker, because he's going to have a lot more data after all. I mean, think about it. He's not just going to have the same data that Cell had that we know of. Besides the fact that the timeline is different regardless, Cell is also going to have DNA from so many more people. All this data can lead to a quicker development. He could probably have DNA from new people, like Trunks, Gohan, Boo, Deborah, Shin, Kibito. Hell, he'd even probably have Broly and Frieza after Resurrection F, building upon the previous data he had from Frieza. And this is where we're going to have him be revived, right after Broly arrives on Earth. This is going to take place after the Broly arc, but right before the Moro arc starts. Actually, it's right around the time that this arc starts. Cell awakens, dazed but also amazed. His power, it's incredible. He's gathered all this data and all this DNA over time. He has so many different abilities and so much strength within him. But still, he needs to become perfect. That's the one downfall of this. Gero still had this one issue. Why does he need to absorb these androids? Well, the good thing is, the androids are still alive, and they're pretty powerful. They'll make for a nice addition to his repertoire. Plus, they're of course going to lead him to perfection just like he wanted. But there's still something irking Cell, his drones. They kept picking up data on Beerus and Whis, but since they couldn't actually sense that godly energy coming off of them, they never thought it was worthwhile. But Cell knows all about them. He knows what they are, who they are, and what they're capable of. And he wants their DNA next.
Okay.
He's going to work up towards that. But first, he needs to attain perfection, just to get more power as if he wasn't strong enough already. He starts off by teleporting over to Android 17's island. Yes, teleporting. He does have instant transmission because he saw Goku use it so many times, and the other Cell had it too. That's another thing worth noting.
Okay.
He has all the data on that Cell as well. He knows the shortcomings of that one, and he's not going to let those problems affect him here. The failure of his alternate self leads him to see that he's not perfect yet. Even once he does get the androids, he can go beyond it. He saw what happened at that Cell against Gohan. He can awaken even further beyond perfection. That's his goal. He strikes 17 pretty swiftly. He's able to locate the island, and before 17 can even react, he's immediately absorbed by Cell. For a split second, 17 saw the monster in front of him. He was frozen in fear, remembering the last time he was absorbed. But this monster is different. His demeanor and the fact that he's even alive.
Oh, so this Cell's in super.
All these thoughts rush through 17's head before he can even react. But Cell doesn't give him enough time to. Immediately, Cell gets one step closer towards perfection, now in a semi-perfect form. Next, he teleports right to Krillin.
And this semi-perfect form is be strong as fuck,
This was a lot easier than locating Android 17 because he could just lock onto Krillin and then absorb 18 like that. Krillin looks at Cell, horrified, remembering that same exact thing from before. And the fact that he's semi-perfect too. What the hell's going on? But just like 17, Krillin can't even react. Much to 18's horror, he's killed right in front of her. But before she could even escape too, Cell quickly lunges his tail at her, absorbing her just as quickly as her brother. He's not gonna mess around here. I mean, in his imperfect form, he was already strong enough to absorb 17 that easily. Here, he's already untouchable. This is just the cherry on top. Not too far from where Krillin and 18 were, Mayris arrives on the planet, ready to get Majin Buu and bring him into space. They need to fight Moro. Goku and Vegeta arrive there too, about to confront Mayris, but before he takes them down, they all sense something strange. Mayris can tell it's an evil presence, but Goku and Vegeta react horrified. It feels like a familiar energy, but somehow mutated. It feels like Cell.
But stronger.
No, that can't be. There's no explanation for that. Why would he be here? How would he be here? But the energy grows stronger and stronger. And as they look around confused,
you come to think of it, right? Cell, this nigga Cell. So this before the Cell Max arc. So this nigga pulled up 3 times. This nigga Cell Frieza in this story, nigga.
they then hear someone teleport right in front of them. They turn pale. and Maris looks on confused. Mr. Satan's watching too.
Well, never
horrified.
mind. I don't think there's
He
some
knows
next
that
arc in
face
this
all too
one.
well. Cell? It
I'm
wasn't.
just saying.
How? That doesn't make sense. And Cell explains. They might have killed the future Cell, but they didn't destroy the present one. Yeah, they destroyed Jiro's lab, but there was a separate lab somewhere else, which is why it wasn't destroyed this time. They looked around for it and they couldn't find Cell, assuming it wasn't developed yet. And Cell says that was a genius move on Jiro's part. Obviously, he didn't count for the time machine stuff, but he did make sure to hide Cell far away, not right next to the other androids either.
Right.
This project was so top secret that it looked like it didn't even exist. But they have no time to ask for an explanation. Immediately, Vegeta powers up, and Goku follows through too. They can sense that Cell is strong, and Maris can see too, but he can't intervene, at least not with his full power. But he will help fight with his mortal powers, whatever those entail. And then it hits Goku and Vegeta. Cell's perfect. Originally when Cell awakened, he was imperfect. Why is he perfect here? Is that a difference in the project? Cell chuckles. Nope. They have a horrified expression as they realize what happened. He absorbs 17 and 18, and Cell smirks. The look of horror on their faces. It's exactly what he wants to see. He powers up too. And their ki, it feels small in comparison to his. They can sense so many different auras coming off him. It's not like the
That
Cell
boy got
from
aura.
before. Of course they sense their own energies, but they sense Gohan. Not like Gohan from the Cell Saga, but like Ultimate Gohan. They sense Trunks. They sense Babidi, Deborah,
Oh, he's
Majin
strong.
Buu. Frieza in his golden form. They sense Broly even. And all these energies mix together into a horrifying concoction. Cell's aura is so unnatural that it terrifies them. Cell lunges to attack them, ready to hit them with one strike. But quickly they disappear. Goku grabs onto Vegeta, teleporting away on a whim. And then Cell turns to Maris. Maris looks concerned, unsure of what to do. But again, he can't use his full powers here, so he backs off for now, going into the ship and watching from far away. And Cell's confused. Something's peculiar about that guy, but it's not worth worrying about for now. Cell then places 2 fingers on his forehead, looking around. Wait a second, he doesn't need instant transmission. He has the energy of the Kais in him too. He could probably pull off Kai. I mean, he is part Buu too after all, so he can use boost
hell
teleportation.
no.
He's just now realizing how many different
Don't
techniques
throw
he
that in
has access
there.
to.
Don't
And he's
throw that
definitely
in
going to
there.
use them in this fight. But as he looks for Goku and Vegeta's energy, he senses an explosion of power. Their energies merge. And another warrior teleports in front of him. Oh, they did that fusion thing. It's Gogeta. He says no words, ready to fight Cell. He can tell that Cell's going to be a powerful opponent, and he doesn't want to mess around here. He already did kill 17 and 18, so Gogeta says he's going to pay. But Cell chuckles. Let's toy with this guy for a bit. He thinks that 17 and 18 were the only ones he killed? Gogeta's not sure what he's talking about. And Cell tells Gogeta, it's so cruel for them to forget about Krillin. Gogeta's eyes widen.
Oh, yeah, it's
Krillin?
over.
He killed Krillin
Oh, yeah,
too?
it's over. It's over.
Vegeta powers up, going beyond his limits from even before. He's not going to Super Saiyan Blue like he went against Broly. He's going beyond that. He needs Cell to suffer. From Vegeta, he steals Blue Evolution, and from Goku, he steals Kaioken, creating a new ultimate power. His energy skyrockets, going into Blue Evolution Kaioken. Surprisingly, it's not taking a massive toll on his body, but he can tell that this is going to shorten the time of the fusion greatly. He doesn't care though. This power will be just enough to finish this battle in time. He will kill Cell. And he lunges towards the android. Cell is elated. This is what he was looking for. A thrilling fight like this one. He couldn't have asked for a better match. This is probably the strongest opponent he could have faced. A fusion between Goku and Vegeta, utilizing both of their maximum powers. But still, it might not be enough. He feels like they can go beyond that. Maybe he can find even stronger foes. But for now, this will do. He clashed with the fusion. The energy they give off is astounding. And of course, others are going to notice it too. More fighters begin flying over. Piccolo flies over, then Goten and Trunks, deciding to fuse on their own as well. More fighters keep arriving, watching the spectacle as Gogeta fights Cell. And then another one arrives. It's Gohan. He can't believe what he's seeing. Cell's back? And Cell looks over to Gohan. Of course, he has no connection to Gohan, not like the other Cell. But he does have all the data from that fight. And seeing that look of horror again makes him even more elated. He knows why Gohan's reacting the way he is. He doesn't even say anything, just pointing a finger towards him and beckoning Gohan to come towards him. Gohan powers up into Ultimate.
Don't do it,
beyond
Gohan.
belief. This is amazing for Cell. He's fighting Gogeta, he's fighting Gohan, he's fighting Gotenks. And all at once, he's able to counter them. But he is showing off all his power, and it saddens him. This is probably the only time he's going to show off all his power. Come on, he needs more than that. He needs to evolve somehow. And suddenly, during the fight, Gogeta defuses, just like he thought. Using too much power would cause the fusion to not last. And Cell admits, he is a bit disappointed. He continues fighting Gohan and Gotenks in the meantime, but then turns over to Goku and Vegeta. Well, since they're not going to be useful in this fight anymore, he might as well absorb them. He turns over to Goku first, and quickly, he lunges his tail towards Goku. Goku's mind goes completely blank, and out of nowhere, he dodges Cell's attack. Everyone looks on confused, but then they see what's
So
going
we didn't
on.
even train with mirrors.
Pushed to his limits once more, Goku's tapping into a power that he used during the tournament of power. He goes into Ultra Instinct Omen. If only he could have activated this on command before, but this is fine. And Cell begins fighting him. This isn't as thrilling as fighting Gogeta, but Goku in this form is powerful. Cell can vaguely sense his energy. It's strange, but whatever. There's nothing too bad about it. But as Goku continues fighting, he keeps going over the stakes, and he's forced to evolve once more. His hair begins glowing even more and more, and it begins glowing white, and Cell looks on amazed. He actually didn't know about this form. But maybe he can attain it next. I mean, he is part Goku after all. He has no knowledge of the Tournament of Power or what happened there. But hearing this, it excites him. Although, Goku's already at his limit. Besides the obvious fact that Ultra Instinct's incredibly draining, Goku's already kinda drained. I mean, he just fought as Gogeta Blue Evolution, Kaioken. Just listen to that name. Even though it was a fusion, he still felt the effect.
Come on now, it's Goku. This nigga Goku fought for... That nigga fought 48 minutes straight in the Tournament of Power. And turned to the... and did this. I mean, going blue, going Gogeta, turned to Gogeta and cutting out wasn't that much Tournament of Power. Nigga, we saw this nigga in Goku Black Art.
Effects of that.
He should be good.
And he has retained some of the damage that Gogeta received from Cell. Cell's enjoying this fight a lot. And amidst the battle, he notices some other powers appear. Beerus and Whis come in. Seeing how dire the situation is, Beerus knows that he might have to intervene himself. For the first time in a while, he might actually have to fight this guy. And this entrance to the battlefield briefly distracts Goku. And Cell then teleports away. Goku has no idea where he went, but he sees on the ground. Cell is moving so quickly that no one can even tell what's going on. He begins absorbing everyone. Goku rushes over, but before he can even get to Cell, he keeps teleporting away around to other people. Vegeta, Gotenks, Gohan, Piccolo. He even teleports to the Galactic Patrol ship, absorbing Buu up there, trying to absorb Mayris too, but he teleports away. That guy, something's wrong about him. And much to Goku's horror, he realizes what happened. Beerus and Whis watch on too. Yeah, Beerus definitely needs to be serious here. Whis says he can rewind time. But again, it's only gonna be for 3 minutes. Beerus is fired up and ready to fight, but whatever, he'll wait. Whis rewinds time, going back to just about the moment where Gogeta defused. Of course, Goku knows that time rewinded and no one else did. And Goku's still worn out from Ultra Instinct before. He's already de-transformed from it. And he tells everyone to let Beerus handle it. Beerus then jumps in himself. Surrounded in a fiery purple aura.
Okay, Beerus.
This is the first time he's had to go all out ever. And Cell's surprised. What power coming from this guy? He wants it for himself. But as he fights Beerus, he sees there's a gap in power. A gap in power that's even too much for him. And Goku makes sure to warn Beerus. Be sure to erase every part of Cell. He can regenerate. Beerus hears this, but he continues enjoying the fight. Brutally beating Cell, being so far ahead of him that Cell's hopeless. And then he decides to end it. He places a hand in front of him, charging a Hakai. But within a split second, Cell uses the Kai Kai. The Hakai is launched, but it hits nothing. And Beerus hears someone scream on the ground. It's Goku. Cell teleported over to him, absorbing him. Everyone looks on in horror.
Oh, shit.
And this gets a reaction out of Beerus and Gohan, both of whom power up, charging at Cell together. But Cell just looks over at them, smirking. He teleports away again, grabbing onto Vegeta as he does so, absorbing his power. Even with Whis rewinding time, Cell still does the same exact thing. He had this planned. He knows when he's backed into a corner, and unlike his former self, Cell knows not to make this mistake. Especially with a god of destruction like this, he can't let that Hakai hit him. He continues gaining more and more power, absorbing all the fighters until there's no one left besides Beerus himself. And now with all the power these guys
Beerus just let him
absorbed,
do that.
Cell might be able to contend against him. Oh yeah, and he's able to regenerate completely too. He is part Buu after all, so he has an upgraded form of regeneration. It's not the same regeneration that the other Cell had, the one that he got from Piccolo. No, this is limitless regeneration. Oh yeah, and he gets a boost in power on top of that too. Whis watches on, with his brother teleporting in as well. Mayris asks, there's nothing they could do, right? And Whis reminds him of the rules. If angels get involved, they'll be erased. All they can do now is simply watch. Beerus is exerting all of his power, and still, it's not enough. He even tries to calm himself. Maybe he could pull out Ultra Instinct. I mean, he can't fully use it, but he did try and tap into it before.
Right.
But no, he can't. His rage is too high right now. He simply doesn't have the clear mind for it. And Beerus gives a look to Whis. To think that it would all turn out like this. All those millions of years of him being god of destruction led up to this point.
Yep.
And now he's finally found someone to match his power, or go beyond it. Cell continuously keeps powering up, as he continues to digest the energy that he just absorbed. And every time Beerus tries attacking him, Cell simply regenerates, growing stronger than before. And Cell makes sure to avoid the Hakais. He knows not to mess with those. And Beerus is actually getting more and more worn out. How is Cell growing this powerful? But it's just like Beerus sensed before. All those energies within him. It only makes sense that he would be this strong, especially now that he's absorbed multiple people.
All of them.
Beerus charges one last attack, but it's already too late. He feels a sharp pain in his side as Cell stabs him with his tail.
Damn.
Cell smiles at Beerus. It seems like he's being cocky, but he's actually being genuine. He
This nigga
thanks
pulling the
Beerus.
Ultra Vegeta.
That was a really fun fight. Hopefully he doesn't mind that he takes this power. Remember, Cell's not going to make the
Let me
same
get that
mistakes
off
as
you,
his
big bro.
predecessor. Whenever he sees an opportunity, he's going to take it. He absorbs Beerus, taking all of his power for himself. Whis and Maris watch on, saddened and disappointed. Cell looks over towards them, ready to absorb them next, but they leave. They have no purpose here in Universe 7 anymore with the God of Destruction now dead. But it doesn't matter though. Cell's grown so strong now that he doesn't need them. But maybe he can get other Gods of Destruction. Now with the power of Beerus, on top of all of his other powers, he could definitely make it work. Cell powers up, testing the upper limit of his strength right now. And this time, the power is so immense that it's felt in every corner of the universe. No, the multiverse. Far away in the corners of Universe 7, Moro can feel it as he heads towards Namek. Granola on planet Cereal can feel it. Frieza, out in space, he senses this power. Broly on planet Vampa. Is that Frieza's power he feels? And his own? But even beyond that, it spreads across the multiverse. Champa could feel it. Is that Beerus's power? And Universe 11? The Pride Troopers feel it, including Jiren. Goku's power. And all those other powers too. How is it reaching this far? All the Gods of Destruction and their respective angels feel it as well. This isn't any normal power.
Oh, shit.
This is certain doom. The two Zenos watch on from their palace. And as they look on their god pads, it's almost like Cell looks directly at them through it. Not that they're scared at all, but it's just strange. What is this creature? And now, Cell's multiversal conquest can begin. He'll gain even more power beyond this. He's gone mad with it. To think that two other versions of himself failed at this goal. Well, to be fair, they didn't have the advantage of all these powers within them. If anything though, they weren't ever perfect. But him,
Perfect.
he's perfect. This is what perfection looks like. Of course, the other Gods of Destruction and every other god in the universe would be aware of this.
Alright.
They know that Beerus and somehow those strong mortals from Universe 7 were all defeated. They'd wonder how it happened, and they'd get word of it. Some creature was created there. Some artificial being so strong that even a God of Destruction couldn't stop him. So what's Cell up to now? Well, he's still wandering around Universe 7, and next, he's gonna move to the multiverse. He's getting a better grasp on this power, Ultra Instinct especially. He's an amalgamation of so many different people that he has so many powers within him that he all wants to try. One thing I didn't really mention in the last part is he
Like
also
an
would have
Ultra
Goku
Instinct,
Black's
boy.
DNA because he did briefly show up in this timeline, but it would be so minimal and it was from a point when Goku Black wasn't even really that strong that it probably wouldn't affect Cell too much, at least on the surface level. I omitted it for a reason, but it's worth mentioning because people were asking. So it's not like we're gonna get Super Saiyan Rose Cell or anything. Not that that really
don't
matters.
really- we don't
He has
really need
Ultra
that.
Instinct now, as well as powers of a God of Destruction, plus data from so many more fighters. Those powers are really what's driving him here. He tries to utilize Ultra Instinct, powering up into it, and starting to maintain it more and more effectively. Of course, it's not really an issue for him. Stamina is no problem for him anymore.
Yeah, I see.
And in terms of a strain on his body, that's not a problem either. He's perfect for this, no pun intended. And even if it doesn't work the first time, he just keeps brute forcing it, trying to transform into Ultra Instinct again and again, just to get a better feel for it. This is how he's gonna try and master it. But of course, this isn't the right way to go about it. It might work in the short term, but later on, he's gonna see that this isn't that effective. But now he needs to move on to his multiversal conquest. He'll defeat the other Gods of Destruction, fighting them and having an enjoyable time. And then, he can finally take it up to Zeno himself. Now, what is going on with Zeno?
Why he got beef
says
with
he's just
Zeno?
erased everything. Both of them, actually. They're angered beyond belief. The fact that a universe could be so incompetent that this could happen. And if Cell's just gonna go around wreaking havoc everywhere,
shit.
there's no point in having any of the universes. Or at least Zeno does seem angry. Really, this is another test for him. He wants to see how the other gods will react to this, and of course they're terrified. So now, they actually have to work together, something that they don't really do too often. The Gods of Destruction, their angels, and their Kais all meet up. They have to discuss a plan. First, they need to gather the strongest warriors from each of their universes. Well, that's easy. Belmont offers up the Pride Troopers. Champa, he has Hit. And other universes start to collect
He
strong
has Hit.
fighters, mostly people that were already in the Tournament of Power. But even though it's kind of harsh, they do decide that some of them need to stay back. Some are much stronger than others. Like,
Yeah.
most aren't going to be on the level of Hit or Jiren or Topo, people like that. Okay, well, some of the
Yeah.
other guys are confused. If they're not going to put their fighters in, then what are they supposed to do? How are these few fighters supposed to stop Cell if that couldn't happen in Universe 7? Well, that's the thing. Some of the angels interject, saying that it might be best for the gods to actually get involved. They usually keep a hands-off approach, but think of it like this. Their survival and their universe's survival is at stake. They'd be stupid not to get involved. Plus, for the ones that do enjoy fighting, they would get a kick out of this. And all the gods of destruction agree, except for Champa. And they're confused. It's his brother that died. Why does he not care? It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he just has a different plan. One that'll work alongside their plan. The troops are gathered. All the gods of destruction are together, alongside some of the strong mortals. And they're surprised to hear this, especially Jiren. Someone strong enough to defeat Goku? Jiren remembers his fight with Goku using Ultra Instinct. And even Kid's thinking the same thing. He couldn't even handle what suppressed Jiren. And this guy's apparently much stronger than that. Toppo's a bit concerned too. Maybe his powers will be enough. But if Jiren's feeling that way, he doesn't know. Not that Jiren is scared at all. He's just more so intrigued. Someone got that strong. But he's also pretty disappointed by it. He cheated to get that strength. His strength isn't absolute. It's an amalgamation of everyone else's strength, gained artificially. And Toppo agrees too, although has a different standpoint. Both of them recognize that this is an injustice. And as Pride Troopers,
hey, Moro gotta come save the day or something, man.
And they all realize too, the three of them are really the only mortals here. Turns out most of the strong people are either dead from Universe 7, or they're so far behind that they might just get in the way. Strange, because Hit remembers that Fusion Kefla being so strong, but yeah, maybe she wouldn't be the best choice here. The Gods of Destruction didn't really have anyone on standby. But these three, they should be enough, hopefully. Especially because the Gods of Destruction are fighting too. They all arrive in Universe 7. And of course, Cell senses this immediately. He's gone around, destroying everything, gathering more power too. He's found some other strong people in Universe 7. There are some Saiyan far away on some random planet. Cell took his energy. He had some pretty great potential, but nothing really else for Cell to use. Then there's some guy from planet Cereal. And Cell notices his eyesight is better. He could see things that he didn't see before. Could be useful in a fight, but he doesn't really know much else. He even met with Frieza, trying to fight him, and keyword, he tried to fight him. Frieza was way too weak, and it didn't make it too fun. Cell already had his DNA anyways, so Frieza was dealt with. And now he's bored, but seeing all these people here, it makes him elated. He does have knowledge of some of these other fighters too, hearing them discussed by Goku and the others thanks to his drones. Hit from Universe 6, the assassin that can control time. Jiren, a warrior from Universe 11 that might even be stronger than a God of Destruction. Not that that really matters for Cell because he is too now. Toppo, a candidate for God of Destruction who could also utilize those powers. Again, doesn't matter to Cell. See, these would be impressive to him before, but besides Hit, there's nothing here really too intriguing.
That nigga Cell, big
maybe
body.
This could be fun, fighting all the Gods of Destruction at once. But do they really think they could defeat him? Well, it's time to see. The fight begins. A few of the gods charge in, and Cell could already feel that battle spirit pumping through him. He activates Ultra Instinct, and the gods immediately sense it. That same power that one mortal used. The same power of the angels. Immediately, Cell dodges all their attacks, as well as countering them with perfection. There's no wasted movements. And thanks to his enhanced eyesight now, his attacks are more potent for some reason. It's like he can see vital points within each of the Gods of Destruction. Maybe that one granola dude was actually useful to absorb. Who would have thought? You know what? Time to test something else out. He found some really old guy in the Galactic Patrol prison and took his energy too as well as his data. And now, he feels like he has some sort of magical abilities.
This nigga's sucking up everybody. Yeah.
On one side, Sidra and Kitela run.
This nigga got out of prison and started sucking. This nigga sucking up everybody. He is gawking it. God damn.
Cell simply sticks a hand out, trying to absorb their energy. He doesn't really have a hold on this. And it is something he could do with his tail too. But this is weird. Now, it's a long-range way to take people's energy. And they notice this too. They're starting to feel weaker. Cell creates a ball of energy in front of him. And instinctively, he feels like he should eat it. Weird, but whatever. He eats it, and he feels much stronger. Oh, this is a game changer. Before he had to rely on his tail, but now he could do this remotely. Maybe even on a wider scale. Again, he doesn't really have a focus on this. He has to learn how to use it. And while he's also fighting, it's gonna be kind of hard to utilize this at the same time. But that's where Ultra Instinct comes in. Everything can be automated. But Cell starts to feel slower and slower. Hit's focusing all his energy, trying to put Cell in a time lag. He tries to react, trying to take Hit's energy. But he's so slow for some reason. He's gonna break through it though. He just needs a little bit more time. And he looks over to see. Belmont and Toppo are together. Combining their powers, each charging Hakai, a massive one in fact. Cell turns over to them, and he's about to counterattack. But then Jiren comes in, utilizing his full power. He's able to
Okay,
actually land
Jiren.
hits on Cell. With him being frozen right now, even with Ultra Instinct, he's just standing there. His reactions are delayed. But when Jiren does land a hit, nothing happens. They have absolutely no effect on him. What is this guy's power? And Jiren feels a sharp pain in his side. He got him too close, and even with the time lag, Cell was able to stretch out his tail, piercing Jiren's side, taking some of his energy too, growing stronger. He then grabs onto Jiren's face. He wonders if maybe that magic will be more effective like this. He starts draining Jiren of his energy completely.
He's sucking up
But he forgot.
Jiren.
He looks back at Belmont and Toppo. Their Hakai is launched towards him. He lets go of Jiren, but he did absorb some of his energy. And instead of eating it, he channels it into another attack, his own Hakai. He turns over, charging one quickly. And in the nick of time, he's able to negate their attack, with one that actually has greater strength. Everyone's attacking at once now, but nothing they do could work. His Ultra Instinct, it's too powerful. And when he counterattacks, his strength is just so much. Combined with the fact that now he can see their
shell is crazy.
and he can even predict what they're gonna do before they do it. Also, one of his targets now is hit. See, the powers from him might be pretty useful. Yeah, hit might not be the strongest of everyone here, but the ability to
his
warp
ability
time,
is fire.
if he gets that, this fight will be over immediately. So Cell starts going towards him, and now, the objective is to protect Hit. This actually does make it easier for the Gods of Destruction, because Cell has one set target, and they know where to attack him. But they're actually surprised. They're facing a challenge. No wonder Beerus fell to this guy, and the more he fights, the stronger he's growing. And it's at an even faster rate than before. Now with more of Broly's DNA within him too, thanks to finding him in
damn.
Vampa, Cell's also gonna have some of his growth within there. Alongside the insane potential he had before thanks to Frieza, all the Saiyans, hell, even the hybrids like Gohan and Trunks. The fight's only been going on for a few minutes, but it feels like an eternity. And within those few minutes, he's grown stronger than he ever has before, even in that last battle with Gogeta and everyone. The key that they feel from him, it's terrifying. Far away, the angels watch on, with all the Kais alongside them. Well, there is something the Kais can do. They try and negate
What they
Cell's
do?
magic.
What they do?
And he doesn't know what's happening, but his magic from Moro stops working. The Kais are working to at least do this. They can't get involved in fight, because if they do, then they're gonna die, and then the gods will die. But this at least does help a lot. And as for the angels, of course they can't get involved, but they do note something's weird about Cell's Ultra Instinct. Yeah, he's definitely not utilizing it the right way. They discuss amongst themselves, glad to see that their Gods of Destruction are performing decently well against this threat. But also, they're a bit underwhelmed. Cell's performance, it could be better. They are enjoying the spectacle though. Hopefully, they do pull out ahead. Thankfully, they have
They'll
no
pull
stake
out
in this
alright.
though, so either way, they're fine. But it will be interesting to see how Cell controls Ultra Instinct going forward, because it seems he's going about it the completely wrong way. They notice, he keeps dropping in and out of it. He's brute forcing it. His mind, it isn't clear. Yeah, he can keep activating all he wants. But unlike Goku, or the Angels for that matter, he doesn't have the right state of mind for it. And his Ultra Instinct is limited by that, and Cell doesn't even realize it.
Hold on, sorry.
Each time he activates it, he does learn to utilize it a little bit better, and he gets more effective with it, but it's at such a slow pace too. The Angels see an opening. The Gods of Destruction can definitely pull ahead. Although, something much more surprising happens. It's not like Cell runs out of Ultra Instinct or anything, no. Another God of Destruction appears. It's Champa. He's finally returned. The other Gods of Destruction ask where he is. Was he just being a coward and not joining? No, he tells them to just wait a bit. He told them to trust him. His plan will work. What plan does he have? Where was he? He tells them again, just wait.
Trust him.
Cell even tries fighting him, but the other Gods of Destruction jump in.
Super Dragon
All of them
Ball.
are fighting at once. The mortals can't even fight anymore. Although it was a good idea to bring them because it did help them stand their ground for a little bit longer. But now all the Gods of Destruction have to fight together just to counter Cell. And Cell's losing his grasp on Ultra Instinct. The more he tries to use it, the more he's actually having diminishing effects now. He doesn't have the right state of mind. Well, whatever, he doesn't need that. He tries using every power-up he has at once. His eyes, they turn red from granola. He tries to summon magic from Moro, even though it's being suppressed by the Kais. He taps into Kaioken even. He powers up with godly ki surging through him. Everything at once. This will work.
This nigga
He doesn't need
bored.
Ultra Instinct. Again, brute force will work. He's perfect. So whatever method he uses doesn't matter. He will win. But as he powers up, he reaches a certain peak in power. And then a brilliant flash of light. And he just stands there. He looks normal again. All those powers, they're gone. He tries tapping into it once more, but nothing. And he senses something strange. An ominous presence behind him. One that feels angry. And it's not just normal anger. He feels intense rage. It's an overwhelming presence. He turns around, smirking, thinking that someone's gonna be behind him trying to do a sneak attack.
Hell no.
And it was someone doing a sneak attack. It's Beerus. As much as he'd love to use Cell as a punching bag, he can't. Cell can't even react in time, questioning why he's even here. There's a hand stretched out in front of his face, and immediately, he's Hakai'd. Every bit of him is erased. Beerus' anger is overflowing, but he's able to control it, not letting it get the best of himself. The other gods of destruction look on in complete awe. How is he here? And they also notice, around the same time, Vados and Fuwa came in. Champa told them to trust his plan. Utilizing the time ring from Fuwa, they're able to go to another time and get the Super Dragon Balls there. They asked Super Shenron, restore everything to how it was before Cell killed everyone. Meaning everyone knew about Cell, but all of his powers still got erased. It's a twofold wish. It revives everyone, and it depletes Cell of his powers. Which is fine. All they needed to do is get rid of his powers and then Hakai him. The other gods of destruction tell Beerus, keep his universe in better check, but he reminds them, they had fun, didn't they? Also, he had a mortal stronger than any of theirs. So, even though they look down upon him, Beerus still feels confident. And they just leave kind of in silence, except for Champa. He shares one last look with Beerus, telling him that now they're even, right before he goes back to his universe. Beerus breathes a sigh of relief, then going back to Earth with Whis. Everyone has been sensing what's been going down from there. Glad to see that Beerus is back, and it seems that everything's back to normal. Although Beerus tells them, make sure the Red Ribbon Army is completely dealt with. But they say that there's no way there could be any more androids, right? Right? Well, at least everything's safe. And they still got the experience of this battle. Due to how the wish was formatted, it's not like this battle didn't happen. It did happen. So they got some pretty valuable experience at least. Something good came out of it. And yep, a good ending came out of it too. Or at least, everything seemingly is good.
Oh.
You see, Champa didn't really think about the consequences of the wish. It was hasty after all, and it did seem to fix everything. Which, it did, but it only fixed it for one timeline. When Super Shenron reversed everything, the timeline actually split. In that main timeline, everything's fine. But there's another timeline where the battle still went on. One where everything continued. And Cell pulls out a trump card. He's far too dangerous now. He creates a couple of Cell Juniors. Before, the Kai stopped his magic from working. But the Cell Juniors are able to do something pretty interesting. They each teleport around, trying to find where the Kais are. And one by one, some of the Kais are destroyed. But Cell makes sure they don't destroy all the Kais, because when they kill the Kais, they kill gods of destruction too. But getting rid of some of the Kais means that Cell could start using energy again like Moro does. He could finally steal that power from these people. And with some of the gods of destruction still left, he takes all of their strength. Slowly, Cell continues to grow, easily being able to steal their energy with magic. And one by one, the rest of the gods of destruction fall. With them dying, that means the angels become inactive. But Cell doesn't let them go either. He can amass even more power. He doesn't want to overload his body just yet, but he even tries to absorb some of their strength. Although, it's cut short. The two Zenos have been watching. The gods have failed their test, and it seems everything's beyond repair. And out of anger, the two Zenos just decide it's time to erase everything. And Cell watches as the universe around him begins to collapse. Everything and everyone left in it, it begins getting erased. And despite how strong Cell is now, there's no way he could face Zeno, or this power. Cell senses the Cell Jr. starting to disappear. They're being erased. Cell needs to think quick or he'll be erased too. But he does remember something. One part of his DNA. There was a brief period where Goku Black showed up on Earth, and Cell was able to collect some of his data too. Now, he needed a time ring to do this, but it looked like Goku Black was able to travel throughout timelines. Cell can go throughout the multiverse, but there's no way he's gonna escape here. He needs to go to a completely separate continuity. But how is he supposed to do that? And Cell tries everything he can. He powers up to his maximum. Maybe there's a way for him to brute force himself out of here. Maybe Goku Black knew a way to affect the timeline without a time ring. Especially because his drones remember at one point, Goku Black actually did that. When the future timeline was erased, there was that brief moment where he almost appeared in the regular timeline. He grew so powerful that he was able to do that. And at the very last moment, Cell lets out an overwhelming amount of strength. And inadvertently, he rips a hole through space and time. Or at least what's left of it because Zeno is currently erasing it. The portal grows smaller and smaller, and it seems like Cell has no other choice. In order to escape Zeno's erasure, Cell jumps through this portal, barely escaping. Did he just create a portal to another timeline? Is this a new timeline, or is this one that already existed beforehand? He doesn't know where he is or how he got here. Thanks to Champa's wish for the Super Dragon Balls,
this
they
nigga
were all
Murno.
saved. But in a completely separate continuity, Cell is still there, wondering where he can go now. If this is the type of power he has infinite potential. Imagine how much more powerful he can grow, especially if there's all these other timelines he can go to. There might not just be separate timelines, there might even be other
step out of Universe 7.
Other groups of different timelines. There could be infinite different sets of multiverses. So sure, in the main continuity our heroes had a good ending. But this other Cell, he's still active. And his plans are only just beginning. Consider the story of Prologue as something much bigger. This is the birth of a brand new Cell, the strongest thing in any existence. But we'll be saving his story for another time. This is where we end off for now.
That was fire. That was fire. Shout out to Saladverse. That boy Cell stronger than a bitch. Well, yeah, man. Okay, we gonna see. I don't think what he gonna do. Fight Geno? I mean, he's not there yet, but we'll see, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and check out any other Dragon Ball story you like right here. Some, some anime stuff you might like right here, and I'll catch y'all next time, man. Peace.